more shocked than anything. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't more shocked of him dying. I was more shocked at him.
Let me ask the crazy question. So I know you talked a lot about
There are no crazy questions, only crazy people.
Well, I probably fall under that category too. So you talked about abolishing the IRS, which I love that the word abolish is coming up. Most of us in this room have been doing this long enough to know that that is a way out there. It's a great conversation starter. But what can we do? I mean, what's going on with the IRS investigation? And I'll sit there and talk about abolishing the IRS all day long, but what can we do to keep this in the public eye, keep this in the news, so that we don't let up?
First of all, the best thing to do with the IRS is to abolish it and to send all of our IRS agents to the border. Place them at that point, anybody wanting to cross into our country, legally or otherwise, would promptly turn around because they'd be scared. But seriously, I mean, the only way that the momentum will continue on this is if we continue to find examples of exactly what happened, not only in this scandal, but also on our other scandals. I'm sure there are others out there. There's just no way that something this brazen was an isolated incident. This is what happens when government gets this big. You don't mess with Godzilla. And I'm fond of
my staff gets nervous when I use the Godzilla
analogy, but I think it works. When Godzilla steps on your house.
Turn all your recording devices off.
Oh no, it's already gone.
Too late.
When Godzilla steps on your house, it's not because Godzilla hates you. It's not because Godzilla is hungry and he wants to eat you. It's because he's Godzilla and he's huge and your house happens to be there. It's just what happens. So stuff like this is going to happen because human nature is such that people, when given the opportunity to do bad things, are going to do them because we've given too much power to the government. So we've got to, in order to abolish the IRS or to make whatever becomes of the IRS something that we almost wouldn't recognize from its current form, we have to fundamentally change our tax code into something that's simple.
I'll pay for a shredder. I'll fund that.
I'll pitch in.
So do you think it's just the bureaucracy, or it's the bureaucracy itself, or a directive from Obama coming down from his administration?
No, I want to make clear that although I don't have a whole lot of love for this administration, what happened with the IRS here is something that could have happened and would eventually happen with any administration, Republican or Democratic. You're going to have bad things happening when you give people that much power. People are eventually going to use it for nefarious and political purposes. I think that this administration has been particularly reckless in this area, but I don't necessarily think that this is something that happens only in Democratic administrations or only in this administration. But again, it's about the code. It's about the tax code. This happened because the IRS got that big, and the IRS got that big because the code is so complex. It takes up tens of thousands of pages. Nobody's ever read the whole thing. And so that gives enormous discretion to the bureaucrats who run it.
So what solution would you advocate with our tax system?
I'd love to see us move to a single rate system. And I don't care as much whether it's a single rate system that focuses on consumption or income, but it's got to be one or the other, not both. And it's got to be one rate. And I don't care if you have, a couple of simple deductions in there, but it's got to be one rate and as simple as possible.
And it makes me wonder if I'm under some sort of spiritual matrix with the truth put over my eyes with the evil forces that compromise my state of mind. Have I been hypnotized to believe in lies?